Most people assume low intelligence shows up in bad grades, IQ tests, or obvious mistakes. But psychologists point to something very different. Your mind reveals itself in the tiny habits you barely notice. And the unsettling part is that these habits don't just look like low intelligence, they slowly reshape your brain to function that way. Some people behave as if luck controls everything. Wearing lucky socks, avoiding cracks, or believing certain colors attract money. It feels harmless, but it's a form of magical thinking, confusing coincidence with cause, and it replaces logic with superstition. Others convince themselves they're fine on 4 hours of sleep, staying up late scrolling and waking up exhausted, not realizing that sleep deprivation destroys memory, focus, and decision-making until the brain functions like it's intoxicated. Some people panic in silence, unable to sit alone without noise or a screen, because solitude forces them to actually think. Intelligent minds use quiet time for reflection, while others avoid their own thoughts. Then there are people who talk endlessly but never say anything meaningful, relying only on small talk because they lack curiosity and prefer easy, surface-level conversations instead of ideas. We've all met the loudest person in the room who speaks like an expert but knows very little. A classic example of the Dunning-Kruger effect, where the least knowledgeable feel the most confident, while truly intelligent people admit what they don't know. Some follow instructions blindly even when they stop making sense, mistaking obedience for discipline instead of adapting to reality like smarter thinkers do. Many fall for conspiracies because they provide simple, dramatic explanations to complex problems, choosing stories over evidence. Rigid thinkers reject new ideas immediately, not because they're wrong, but because they're unfamiliar, while flexible thinkers adapt as life changes. People addicted to instant gratification chase quick rewards, scrolling, snacking, swiping, training their brains to avoid effort and harming long-term success. Poor listeners interrupt, zone out, or pretend to pay attention, not realizing listening is a core part of intelligence because it requires processing new perspectives. Others reject new ideas instantly, not out of wisdom, but out of mental laziness. Hours disappear into doom scrolling and binge watching, rewiring the brain to crave constant dopamine hits, while productivity and focus collapse. Some people change identities with every trend, copying whatever everyone else is doing to feel accepted, instead of forming their own preferences. And then there's the gamer who plays every night but never improves, not because the game is hard, but because they refuse to learn from mistakes, while intelligent players analyze patterns and adapt. The truth is that low intelligence isn't about being born smart or not. It's the small habits you repeat every day. Keep them and your brain stays stuck. Break them and everything, from your thinking to your confidence to the way people treat you, begins to shift. Most people will hear this and go right back to the patterns that keep them average. But if you're the type who wants to genuinely rewire your mind and understand psychology at its rawest truths, don't just watch, subscribe. Because every week I break down the brutally honest psychological truths no one else wants to say, but everyone needs to hear.